understand from you how we can potentially shape tomorrow's future for India. And how are you?
I'm well, and I'm not sure you and I can solve India's future, just the two of us, but we'll give it a shot, Kevin.
That's exactly right. We can at least give it a shot. Lots of people have different opinions, so many different opinions, all over social media and all over the mainstream media. So yes, why don't we try and give it a go? Where are you? Are you in India at the moment?
I'm in India, in Mumbai, at my home. I'm locked down. I'm told I belong, due to my age, to the endangered species, so I'm not going anywhere out of the house.
Yeah, it's been quite an interesting last six to 8 months. It's globally hit all economies. It's hit certain age groups, as you have identified. As I think we may have just lost the connection. I don't know if we've lost the connection.
Keep saying that I need to close other tabs. So I don't know what's going on, but I have to keep refreshing this. That's the problem I'm facing here.
Okay.
I'm hoping it won't happen again. Let's see.
No problem at all. I was actually just going to the last 6 to 8 months and talking about coronavirus and the world that we live in at the moment. It's not a fun place to be, is it?
No, it's not. But you know, the world has been through stuff like this before, and I think people who are young see it as a challenge which is almost unprecedented. But if you really look at the history of the world, this is not something that is unprecedented, starting back with the original Spanish flu and, of course, world wars and so on. So maybe by virtue of my age, I am entitled to feel a little optimistic that we'll get past this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And doing everything that you've done and being as dedicated to brightening the future and for the career path that you have followed, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, you certainly deserve to occasionally.
No, it's not. But you know, the world has been through stuff like this before, and I think people who are young see it as a challenge which is almost unprecedented. But if you really look at the history of the world, this is not something that is unprecedented, starting back with the original Spanish flu and, of course, world wars and so on. So maybe by virtue of my age, I am entitled to feel a little optimistic that we'll get past this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And doing everything that you've done and being as dedicated to brightening the future and for the career path that you have followed, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, you certainly deserve to occasionally sit down and rest on your laurels and enjoy home life, because it can be very busy. Business is busy.
Absolutely right. So just to let you know again, if I blink off the screen for even a minute, it just means that that silly message is coming on about needing.
We'll always wait. We'll always wait for Mr. Mahindra.
Off, just give me a second and you'll have to do some stand-up comedy while I'm off the screen.
Don't worry, I'm very good. I'm learning to do all sorts. In self-isolation in Dubai here at the moment, I'm doing all sorts. So I've got magic tricks, the works. It's fine.
Okay.
But we were saying business is busy. Business is a busy time, and resting and just reflecting is not a bad thing.
No, it isn't. I know it sounds a little overindulgent to say that this gives a chance for reflection and that we can look for silver linings. We have to be aware that in a country like India, that there are a number of people who are underprivileged and who are very, very hard hit by this pandemic. So we should never lose sight of that, Kevin.
Yeah.
At the same time, those of us who are more privileged, should I say, yes, we certainly should have some gratitude for the time that we're getting for reflection. That I certainly think we ought to be grateful for.
Yeah, absolutely. That's hitting the nail on the head. And I suppose if we want to lead to a little bit more of a positive theme, the Indian Premier League. I'm sitting here in Dubai at the moment because that begins on the weekend, and I know that every single person, not just in India but around the world, is buzzing with excitement about the Indian Premier League. Have you got a favorite team? Have you got a favorite player? Are you going to be glued to your television for the start on Saturday?
I think most of the subcontinent will be, but the question of having a favorite team, that's a rhetorical question, right, Kevin? I mean, you want a league to succeed, you have to be loyal to your city team. So being a Mumbaiker, I'm afraid I am as loyal to the Mumbai Indians as anyone can be. And
that's okay.
As far as favorite players are concerned, I really, I'm intrigued by Jasprit Bumrah. I think he's such a maverick. His action is so unconventional that he's a delight to watch, because you can laugh at him while he's coming down and find him odd, but then he becomes lethal. So I love the guy. I think he's a real wicket-taking machine. I love him.
Yeah, and all reports coming out of the Mumbai Indians camp is that he's fit and raring to go. So they start. It's a humdinger. It's the Mumbai Indians versus Chennai Super Kings on Saturday, and I think I'll be making my way down the road to Abu Dhabi to go and cover that game. So why don't we get going into you, sir? We're here to talk to you. We're here to talk to you about your childhood, your family, your education, the choices, the passion. And I know that you don't give many interviews. You're not really into the interview space now. You have been there, seen it, done it, wore every single T-shirt. But where did it all start? Your childhood. Can you take us back to your childhood? Something that you've not really spoken a lot about.
Well, one of the reasons I agreed to do this, quite apart from the fact that it'd be a pleasure to talk to you, is because the audience that is hearing and watching this are young people, and I rarely get a chance to talk to such a focused audience. So yes, I would like to spend some time talking about my childhood, my school, my college. I think psychiatrists tell us that if we really want to understand ourselves, we have to go back and understand our childhood.
Yep.
In a sense, you're the psychiatrist for today, Kevin. You're my shrink for today.
I just chuck all the questions are at you. They're right there. You can go. We've only got 40.